perfect. Finally got it right the first time. Nice. I got it right the first time. Chat. All right. Sure. Got that ready. All right. Just give it a couple of minutes. Make sure this is live and set. Okay, so yes, this works. Great. Put that on here. Turn myself down. Gonna be the best way to do it. There's a cat. All right. Welcome, 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 welcome. So that's how that looks. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for reading. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's how I'm going to start this show off, or this read off, just by thanking everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Over the weekend, I was able, or you guys did it for me. I was able to give away, and people were able to buy 84 copies of my book. 84. 84 copies. Two of them are paperback, and the rest were the digital versions. And it just made me so excited. It just made me so excited to wake up this morning and saw it was 84. 84. So I'm very moved. I'm very touched. I'm very happy. So thank you all again. Today I'm just going to read some excerpts from chapter 2, and we'll go ahead and talk some more about little bits of characters that are in chapter 2. Uh, Last time we talked about Kenny, the main character. We talked about Kenny, the main character, and his role in Everybody. Oh, hello. And his role in the story. I want to reply. Yes. And I know that today we're going to talk about Christian. Christian is his protector, and he's a vital aspect of the story. He's a vital aspect of Kenny's adventure and his life. And as the term says, he is the protector. Um, his life is very intertwined. His life is very intertwined and very complicated, as he likes to say a lot. It's complicated. Kenny brings out that complication, like, or basically brings out the explanation of why is it so complicated. Um, it, but there's more to the story. There's a curse involved. There is a something that's holding him back from being who he truly is. Um, but I based this character off of a lot, a lot of my experiences in life. Um, and but foremost, it was based off of uh, the need and the want to be loved, like everybody. Everybody on in the earth wants to be loved. So Christian is a vital part of this series. He kind of goes in and out of being good and bad, but that's further on down the line. That isn't in this book. We establish his good side. We establish how he feels and who he is, and all of that. So, without further ado, I'm going to read the first little excerpt from chapter 2. Where we left off in chapter one, we were basically introduced to Kenny and Christian. Give me this. Thank you. The early afternoon sun beamed brightly in the cloudless, sunny Sunday sky as the temperatures hit the upper 80s. People walked up and down the Telegraph Avenue, a tree-lined, four-lane street that housed many restaurants and mom-and-pop pizza shops. Buildings had abstract murals painted on the side of each that each told a different story. As Kenny, Sean, and Junior walked one by one, they began discussing what the meaning behind the flying dragon eating a school bus of guns and explosives meant. That actually was an actual mural I saw on Telegraph Avenue in Oakland. It was a flying dragon eating a school bus of guns and explosives, and that stuck with me. All the houses were painted in either purple, green, and yellow. They passed a family with a stroller as they crossed the street, still in conversation. Kenny walked in the middle with his hands in his khaki short pockets. A black tank top lay under a solid yellow button-up, which flapped openly against the small breeze. He finished his ensemble with a small straw hat and brown sandals. Sean walked on his left and wore basic jeans and a white t-shirt with the cartoon of a Family Guy on it, while Junior sported a white fitted tank top and baggy jeans shorts with pearl sketchers. They all wore sunglasses of some kind. Kenny had on the basic dollar store square brand. Sean had a fitted pair of Men in Black type kind, and Junior had brown lenses, diamond framed with silver lining. By the time they went a few blocks and passed the paint shop, the conversation had turned to Kenny and his new neighbor. Well, what about him? You couldn't stop talking about him, Sean explained. Well, I mean, he's very attractive. I mean, I think he's my savior. Junior pinched Kenny's arm. Savior? Plus, I mean, he gave you his number when he left. Not any of us, which we were watching football with him, only you. He pulled you aside to say goodbye personally when he lives right across the street. Come on now. Kenny just blinked, obviously. He's gay, Kenny. Sean pulled out an electric cigarette. Did you see how he kept smiling at you? That's gay. Or he could be a professional serial killer, Junior laughed. Whatever, Kenny sighed dreamily. This just seems so much like Desperate Housewives. Enough with Desperate Housewives, Sean took a puff. You think everything in your life is a reenactment of that stupid show. Well, all I'm saying is that it seems too good to be true that this handsome man moves right across the street and it's not a stupid show. You do realize he didn't move there because of you, Junior said as they stopped at a corner and waited for the walk signal. Well, I get that, but after he left, he didn't go any other neighbors like Mrs. Barnes. No. Bonnie? No. I wouldn't talk to that bitch either, Sean snarled. The point is, why did he introduce himself to us and no one else on the street? We don't even talk to anyone else on the street, Sean said. He brought you home, Kenny, and said hello, and we dragged him to watch football, Junior corrected as they began walking again in the warm sun. Kenny sighed again. He could have said something when we were walking back to his house, like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I live in front of your house." I still don't believe he is who he says he is. I mean, can you find something out on him, Sean, please? Oh, just stop. Oh, just stop and call the dude already. Sean playfully snapped, puffing again. You have been talking about him since he left, and then for hours on the phone with Tanya. And then he came to my place and talked about him there this morning. Junior smiled. Kenny blushed and embarrassedly walked a little faster than the other two, which they called out and called up, expressing love and admiration for his ability to wear his emotions on his sleeve. But when the conversation changed as they rounded the corner, Junior started picking at Desperate Housewives and why the only black family was the main protagonist, and why no more black people were on the show. Kenny ignored his rants and just rolled his eyes while Sean puffed away. Eventually, they reached MacArthur BART station where Teddy was sitting outside a gate with his TransLink card. Dressed in a small jean jacket over an orange tank top and short jean shorts, and and headed a black headband pulling back his hair. A Halloween bandana was tied around his neck and stuffed inside the top of his tank top. He immediately hugged Kenny and congratulated him on landing a man. They just met you, doofus, Sean said. And in gay years, that's already 8 months. Teddy chuckled. And I'm going to stop right there. Highlight this. Come back to that. And that was the first part of chapter two. The very first part was like I just started reading chapter two. And I noticed in there about a conversation in Desperate Housewives. And I remember that being an actual conversation that I had with one of my friends, Keith, and was just saying about why is everything about Desperate Housewives? Why do you always talk about that show? Everything in your life is based around that show, and I'm just like, you know what? You're right, and that's a good thing to put in my book, and I actually did. And so it moved me. Little things here and there, you find and you put in your book. You don't really want to use too much of uh, exact situations. But art is an imitation of life. And there you have it. So that is the quick book read. I know today is a holiday. We are remembering those who have fallen or those who have uh, served and are no longer with us. We hope their memories are forever a blessing. And I thank you all for joining me for this quick little book read. And please continue, continue, continue to share the love and to share the art. I love you and take care. Thank you again.